Hello everyone, welcome back to the another episode of Thoughtful Leaders, an initiative under Thoughts on Education by College Dunia.com. College Dunia is one of India's leading education portals, catering to students, parents, and education industry players who are seeking information on exam, cutoff, student review, or applying to college. Thoughts on Education initiative is to enrich the user experience at collegedunia.com and try to bridge the long view gap between the vision of the top management, the students, and parents. Today, we have with us Professor Dr. Anil G. Warrier, Registrar at Maharashtra National Law University. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
I would like to begin by enlightening our audience with a brief introduction of yours. So, as I said, our today's guest of honor is Professor Dr. Anil Warrier, sir. So, he is holding the charge of Registrar of Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai. He also serves as the Director of Center for Research in Criminal Justice and Chair Professor and Director of Justice, ML Pense, Chair in Environmental Laws. Before joining Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai in 2019, he served as a professor, head of the institution, and deputy director at MIT University, Law School, Mumbai. He has also served as a professor, officer on special duty, and head of the department of PG studies at MNLU, Mumbai, and faculty in charge and coordinator of SNTT Women's University, Law School. He has appeared before the Parliamentary Standing Committee in the Clinical Establishments Registration and Regulation Bill 2007. With over 2 decades in the legal profession, he teaches constitutional law, corporate governance, international humanitarian law, comparative public law, and environmental law. He has authored 4 books and many 30 articles. 3 PhDs have been awarded in his supervision. So once again, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Beginning with the interview, my first question to you is, sir, you have held key positions at education institutes throughout your professional career. So what are the key factors that keep you connected with the education sector?
See, the key factor, the most important factor keep me connected with the education sector is my passion for teaching, basically. Because I started my career as a practicing lawyer and I practiced the litigation. And for some time, I also worked in corporates, and leaving all those things, I came back to teaching. So my passion for teaching is the best thing. And moreover, I like to be connected with the students. I always feel that students are my strength. And that is what the 2 factors connect me to the education.
So moving ahead to the next question, sir. Being the registrar of MNLU, what is your philosophy of leadership? And how would you describe your leadership style?
See, it's a very good question. It is too premature for me to describe my leadership role. It has to be assessed and described by others with whom I interact. But I'll tell you one thing. As far as this university is concerned, I have an emotional attachment to this university because I am the first faculty of the university. Right from the establishment of the university, I am associated with the university. That time, only myself and the vice chancellor. Vice chancellor was appointed by government. The vice chancellor was there, and myself was the second person to join the university as a faculty. So, MNLU, Maharashtra National University, actually, what I feel personally is that it is established by an act of state government in 2014, and it started its academic endeavor in the year 2015. To me, it's a late beginner because the NLUs have been established in many other places much before it came to Mumbai. Mumbai had been one of the first places where a national law institution has to be established because of being the economic capital of India, as well as the as well as the seat of legal profession. Many of the lawyers, many of the legal luminaries are from Mumbai. But anyhow, I'm so happy that it is established over here, at least in 2014. And one of the major constraints we have, of course, it is also associated with the large metro cities' common problems. We do not have a land of our own. In spite of the best efforts on the part of the government and on the part of the university to secure it, so far as we could not move to our own campus. Since we don't have a campus, it has its own limitations. But I'm so happy that we have a very dynamic and enterprising Vice Chancellor now, Professor Dr. Dilip OK. And he has taken it as the first item in his priority to secure a land. So we are working at that direction. So my duty is to support the Vice Chancellor in his endeavor to secure the land. But I am happy to share with you that in spite of this limitation, it's a major limitation. In spite of this limitation, we have marched ahead a lot. See, we have been informed by the CLAT convener of 2020 that Maharashtra National University Mumbai ranks 4th among the choice of the students for admission. So this is what I told you. I always felt that student is my strength. Now I feel that students are the strength of the institution. So this is the largest recognition we get, being the 4th choice in terms of admission for the students. And again, I'll tell you that we have launched certain unique programs which other NLUs have not thought of. For example, there is an MA in Mediation and Conflict Resolution. This is the first university in the entire South Asia to launch such a program. And we have made MOUs with many organizations of national and international repute. We have started a unique LLM program exclusively in investment and security laws in association with the National Institute of Security Management of SEBI. So that is being run in their campus. And especially there are so many professionals who could not do LLM. So we have launched a LLM professional program. So these are the two major programs. Three major programs we have. And again, Mr. Ajay, I would like to share with you that the crux of legal profession is litigation. Understand? Legal profession, when you think of a lawyer, you think of a person arguing the case in the court of law. You never think of a person sitting in the desk and doing the back office work in a corporate or in a law firm. So, but unfortunately, what I feel is that the NLU products are not coming to the court. They are going into corporates and corporate law firms and doing the work of a back office personnel. So to change that, we have launched from this month onwards, that is 2021 January onwards, we have launched a program on litigation lawyering and law firm management, a postgraduate diploma program. I shall tell you, this is the only one program on litigation lawyering and law firm management throughout the world. There is no other institution offering such a program in the world. Right. Second program is with respect to another postgraduate diploma program, that is on crime investigation. There are so many programs on criminal law. There are so many programs on criminal crime, criminology, different aspects of crime. But there is no program outside the police scenario which deals specifically with the crime investigation. We have launched a diploma, PG diploma on crime investigation, forensic science and medical jurisprudence. These two programs cater the needs of legal profession as well as the legal justice, criminal justice dispensation system. So these are the major things. I am so lucky that I could be part of launching these programs, all the 5 programs just now I told. And also I have rejoined the university. See, I was not there in the MNLU for 2 years, but I could rejoin under the leadership of Professor OK as his Vice Chancellor. And that was the time when it has started its journey towards progress. That's all I can tell now about this. In future, the stakeholders will decide.
That is so nice, sir. So,
yeah.
Moving ahead to the next question, sir. Being the registrar of Maharashtra National Law University, how do you strategize about the key programs and plans for the marketing and administration of your university?
See, marketing and
administration.
Administration of the university.
Yeah.
isn't it? Administration of the university, we have streamlined administration because we have a very dedicated and sincere staff who are taking care of the administration. But I will tell you certain highlights. See, you know that from March second half onwards, there had been a nationwide lockdown.
Yeah.
But I must tell you, our staff, on a selective basis, we came to the university even during the lockdown and we worked. And we have completed the final year examination of the outgoing students in the month of May, and the result was declared in June. Because our concern was that students shall not lose even a month because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And this is the first NLU to declare the last semester examination. Our students got enrolled in the month of June itself. Many of our students could register or apply to the judicial services examination of different states because we could release the result on time.
Yeah.
And this has become possible just because our administrative staff, especially the examination department, incidentally I am also the controller of examination, we dared the COVID situation and came to the campus physically and declared the result, did the examination work. And any student, they had to get a testimonial, whether a transcript or a certificate, whatever it is, on one single email, we were at their service. And recently we have upgraded the university, especially we are digitalized. We have established established 6 smart classrooms with high-tech facilities, and the library has been completely automated. And we have installed a video conference facility in the university so that even faculties from abroad can take class sitting in their place. So these all did in the COVID situation. Actually, we feel as administrator of the university, I feel that the challenge of COVID, we have converted in an opportunity to upgrade ourselves. And coming to marketing, see, I am averse of marketing because I always believe that a good product will definitely have its own takers. But of course, in this liberalized, globalized world, we should have certain element of marketing.
Yes.
So we have a placement cell working over here, which will take care of the students' placement and the internship and placement they are taking care. And we are committed to provide the best available resources and best available opportunity to our students.
Yes.
Okay. We don't consider the profit. Many of the things we are not doing for profit. We are, in fact, the government of Maharashtra is spending almost 3 crores every month to sustain this university.
Right.
And compared to what we are getting as fees, it is nothing. So we are not at all on profits.
Yes.
So that shows our commitment to our commitment to service. Okay.
So moving ahead to the next question, sir. How does the curriculum of Maharashtra National Law University ensure the best practice of the industry?
See, we have, as a law institution, we have to follow certain guidelines prescribed by the Bar Council with respect to the core subject. That is, we have to teach, that we are teaching. Apart from that, we have given or we have taken such subjects which would definitely help the students in their career excellence. As a new institution, we have certain breadth of faculties. So we have identified professionals to teach such subjects. For example, we have a course on international arbitration. We have a course on mediation. We have a very good center for arbitration, and the programs that center is doing, especially one of our faculty, Mr. Chirag Balian, he has developed such an expertise on arbitration, and the work the arbitration center is doing is amazing. Understand?
Yeah.
And again, I'll tell you, we, unlike other national law universities, we are not only confined to the corporate career excellence, we are also concerned about the legal profession. So we have a center for clinical legal education. We have trained, see, during the, just before the pandemic, we have trained almost 600 paralegal volunteers in our campus. They are not from the NLUs. We have selected students from other local law colleges and trained them. Because our Vice Chancellor always feels that as a public institution, we are working on the public fund and the benefit should be shared to the society. And we have also on the 1st and 2nd of January last year, 2nd and 3rd of January 2020, we have called for a state level conference of principals and senior law faculties, just to understand their problems and limitations and address it to the government and the Bar Council of India, which is none of our concern. We are not concerned with the problems, but still our Vice Chancellor is so particular that it is our social commitment to take up the cause of our fellow institutions who are deprived or who do not have this much of facility. It should be share and grow. That is our policy. Again, I shall tell you one more thing. You would find this is the university, this is a national law university, probably the only one, which has celebrated Gandhi Jayanti, which has celebrated the Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak's 150th birth anniversary, which celebrates the National Youth Day. All, see, and Dr. Ambedkar's birth anniversary as well as death anniversary. So we are connected to our culture, we are connected to our heritage, we are proud of that. So we are balancing between the corporates, we are balancing with the tradition. See, we are deep rooted in our traditional culture, at the same time we are growing out to the globalized world. So this is what is our agenda and way of progression.
That is what I said.
Yeah.
So moving ahead to the next question, sir. What do you think should be the university's top priority over the next 10 years?
Next 10 years?
Yeah. Or next 5 to 6 years, I can say.
See, if you ask me next 5 years, next 5 years, I am not over ambitious if I say that we want to be the first among the legal institutions of legal excellence in India. That is we are aiming for the next 5 years and next 10 years to make a name or mark our stamp in the international level with respect to legal education. Because I have seen our students, I'm telling the students from India, running to institutions in abroad just to get a tag of a foreign university certification. We want to stop it and we want to see that people from abroad come to Maharashtra National University and get that tag. That is our aim. God willing, I think that I wish that it should materialize.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes.
So moving ahead to the next question, sir. When you first came to Maharashtra National Law University, what was your vision for the university? And has it evolved over time? And how far along in implementing that vision?
See, when I came first to Maharashtra National University, my vision, see, I was, I'll tell you, you cannot imagine also, when I came to first in the year 2014, the Maharashtra National University was placed in a bungalow within the campus of a government college, that is Ismail Yusuf College in Jogeshwari. Only a bungalow. That was a Vice Chancellor's residence. It was a dilapidated condition, unused bungalow. It was the office of the Vice Chancellor as well as the residence of the Vice Chancellor. With no furniture, not even a computer. Understand? No fund. Right? Yes. From there, we managed to shift to Tata Institute of Social Science campus. We are thankful to them for providing, especially my sincere personal thanks is due to Dr. Parshuraman, who was the Director and Vice Chancellor of Tata Institute of Social Science at that time, for providing a space to put to keep our feet a little bit space where we built a porta cabin, and 2 years instructions were imparted from there, that a temporary makeshift porta cabin. Now we have a better campus, better facilities. You see, from there we could come up to this. I thought, see, when I came in 2014 itself, I thought over the next 5 years, we all should strive together to make NLU one among the first 10 universities in India, one among first 10. But now we are much ahead of that. So I'm so happy on that.
That is all the hard work from your side, sir.
See, hard work, it is of teamwork.
Yeah.
See, we had at some point of time we had a downward trend also, but for the last 2 years, especially our new vice chancellor has taken over, things have improved a lot. It is because, see, I'll tell you why it has happened. Because of the teamwork of everybody, and the coordination we, the administration, are doing, and the trust the vice chancellor has reposed on each functionary. See, he gives such a functional freedom. Even result, you function freely, no interference, get the result. That is the best approach, I must say.
Right. Yeah. So moving ahead to the next question, sir. How do you tend to establish a healthy relation and environment in your university?
See, environmental, we have a chair on environmental law that has been established by Justice M.L. Vense Foundation. Justice M.L. Vense was a judge of Bombay High Court. Later on, he has become the Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court. His family, who runs the foundation, they have established a chair. And they have donated a corpus of around 2 crores for this chair. And we started, luckily, I feel I'm so lucky to be the chair professor for environmental law here. Because for me, environment is also a subject very close to my heart, because I also come from the Western Ghats, and the functions we started with a 2-day workshop on environmental complaints, which was inaugurated by Justice Mr. Swatantra Kumar, who had been Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, later Supreme Court judge, and also the chairperson of the Green Tribunal, National Green Tribunal. And we were going ahead with a lot of seminars and awareness programs and all. But now, again, this is also it's one of the going to be a landmark as far as Maharashtra National University is concerned. We have taken up a major research project that will be launched soon. In this month itself, we will be launching it. That is on the legal protection of biodiversity in the eco-sensitive Western Ghats. See, Western Ghats is a hot hub of biodiversity. So how legally it can be protected? For that, we are undertaking a comprehensive research. In that, we would like to involve many stakeholders outside the university, environmentalists, NGOs, other environmental scientists, people from other field of knowledge. So that will be a milestone for once the research will be completed. We are planning from January to December. So when the research will be completed in the month of December 2021, it will be a landmark thing for the university. One more I will tell you, we have also undertaken a pan-India research project on prison reforms. See, prison reforms is a subject which has been dealt by so many people, but here we are taking up prison reforms in relation to all the 28 states and 8 union territories. We are involving all the top functionaries in the jails, police, activists, psychologists, even health workers, even criminals who have undergone imprisonment in the jail. So that how prisons, even today also prisons are treated as a center for oppression, depression, and all those things. But we have to convert, or we have to change it to suit the modern system of justice. So that also, these two projects will definitely place MNLU in higher position. That's what I feel.
So moving ahead to the next question, sir. With the competition so high, how do you guide your students to survive in such a competitive scenario?
See, what is the effect of competition? Ultimately, the survival of the fittest and the best.
Right.
So, if our students want to survive in the competition, they should be the first, they should be the best in the field. So we will try to make them the best in the field. They have to cooperate with us. They have to tap the opportunity, and they have to come up, and they have to stand the test of any competition. That is our motto. That is our mission, rather.
Yeah. Moving ahead to the next question, sir. As we all know how this pandemic affected the education sector all over the world. So how does it affected MNLU specifically, and how you guys are dealing with this current?
See, this I told you, we have converted the challenge of pandemic as an opportunity. We have empowered the university in all aspects because we have acquired a lot of online resources. We have digitalized the library, and we shared all the facilities with the students. We conducted the examination. Just now we have conducted examination for all the semesters. All the semesters, not a mere online examination.
Right.
See, they were asked to write the examination physically. Only the question paper was transmitted over the mail. So, and we were working. Today also, I'll tell you, 100% non-teaching staff and teaching staff are in the campus. We are not sitting at home. Throughout the pandemic, the non-teaching staff was working at some point of time 25%, at some point of time 50%. But I'll tell you, from August onwards, 100% non-teaching staff are working. From November onwards, 100% teaching staff started working. And only thing, we miss our students over here. We miss our children. We miss their voice, their naughtiness, all those things we miss. That's all. Otherwise, we have utilized the pandemic as a God-given opportunity to strengthen ourselves.
So now let me ask you the question for the day, sir. Any suggestions you would like to give to the current youth and the aspiring students?
Only one suggestion. I would like to advise them to be realistic in life, to cultivate good values in life. See, if you gain the entire world, that's the Bible say, if you gain, I don't know the exact word, but the meaning is that if you gain the entire world and lose your soul, what it benefits? So cultivate good habit, good culture, and try to be their best, because it's a competing world, and we are in the path of making India self-reliant. So strive to make India self-reliant, to contribute towards the growth of the nation, be proud of its rich culture and heritage, instead of looking to foreign assignments and becoming the slave of some imperialistic regime. Contribute to India's growth. That is my message actually.
Thank you so much, sir. This was certainly an insightful session.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you for this opportunity, and I thank you personally and also College Dunia. Thank you very much. Thanks.
So everyone, this was Professor Dr. Anil Variad, sir, Registrar at Maharashtra National Law University, on the episode of Thoughtful Leaders, and initiative under Thoughtful Education by College Dunia. Thank you very much, sir, for giving us your time, speaking to us amidst your busy schedule. We'll look forward to interact with you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.